I did. Oh, wait.
We love you so much. Thank you for joining us. My name is Nate Simpleton. I'm joined by Charlie Simpleton, Trista Not So Simpleton, and Lemuel Simpleton. And we are happy that you have come here today because we are going to talk about a movie, because that's what we do on Simpleton Review. How many of you people have now clicked off?
I did. Oh, wait.
Oh, there we go. We're going to talk today about No One Will Save You. It's a 2023 American, as it should be, science fiction horror film written and directed by a guy by the name of Brian Duffield. It's kind of a weird show because it has only 5 words of dialogue in a 93-minute movie. It actually opened in theaters. I didn't realize that. It was released into the theaters. And then it was also released on Hulu as an original film. Let's talk a little bit about No One Will Save You. Charlie, why don't you start us off?
I thought this was a great movie. I really enjoyed like the sensitivities in there and how they really drew you in with the human drama, but then like did the whole bait and switch and turned it into like a total monster freak out.
Yeah.
It was a good time. I like that there was no dialogue because it brought you into like feeling for like the main gal in it without having to like dress it up with the way she thought. You could see it on her face, and you just didn't have to get enticed by all the drama until the end, where they revealed the drama. So it was good.
Okay, great. Yeah. Lemuel, go ahead.
I think I had to mull this movie over after I watched it, because when I was watching it, I was like, I don't know, it's all right. But when I was mulling it over at work the next day, I was like, that movie was a little better than I thought it was. The sound design was phenomenal for having no dialogue. The sound design from the aliens was actually really cool. I really appreciated that. I don't know if I cared much for some of the CGI. CGI felt a little rough at points, and there was a reason they shot that film pretty dark. Other than that, there were other things that I thought were kind of goofy, like she decides to cover her door with a couch and a blanket, and I was like, what is that gonna do? That's not gonna do anything.
She's just hiding.
Like but other than that, it was good. It was interesting once you kind of get to the end where you kind of realize that it's more about her mental state than anything else. That's when I thought it got the most interesting.
Yeah, I have to agree. I found this movie very fascinating for a lot of technical reasons. This is like a perfect show don't tell example because there is no dialogue. I think there, like you said, there's only like 5 words halfway through the movie from her. And it actually took me a good 20 to 30 minutes into the movie to realize nobody was saying anything. They do a really great job at explaining everything without words. I thought the aliens, they were a surprise to me for some reason because I did not expect aliens at all in this movie when I started it. But I thought they were really fascinating. Yeah, the CGI probably isn't the best, but the sound design for them was super like satisfying to me. It was just a lot of fun, honestly. Like once I got over the fact that like 1, there's no dialogue, 2, it's aliens all of a sudden. It's a lot of fun, a lot of inspiration of like Invasion of the Body Snatchers mixed with kind of A Quiet Place in a way. I think they just did a really good job on it. It's simple in a way because there's really not a crazy story to it per se, other than some of her mental state. But it's just fun. It's like a fun action-y movie for the like 3/4 of the way. So yeah. I enjoyed it a lot.
Yeah, this movie kept my attention. I think it was worth a watch. I think 93 minutes was exactly long enough. It didn't need it to be any longer. I think they hit it. I think there's a lot of movies that should take that hint and only make their movies 93 minutes. I mean, Shin Masked Rider maybe should have been like 30 minutes, might have been better. But I'm just saying. So, but No One Will Save You. I mean, when you boil it down, the movie, it's an alien plot, but it deals with PTSD. It deals with trauma. It deals with having to deal with this kind of stuff when you're closed off, when you have nobody else that you can talk to, nobody else you can go to. And that's why I think they obviously chose the artistic idea of not having any dialogue in the movie, because it shows her isolation in a very tangible way. When you realize that there's nothing going on and that like I said, there's only 5 sentences of dialogue, right? 5 words of dialogue in the entire movie. And those words are, I'm sorry, right? That's what she's talking to her friend saying, I'm sorry. That's the only dialogue, really, for the most part. There are some genuine jump scares, I thought. At least one. I don't know why it got me so bad, but when she reaches for the telephone, when she's hiding behind the fridge and she tries to reach for the telephone and the alien hand comes out of nowhere and grabs it, I jumped. It does not take... It takes a whole bunch to make me jump. I can count probably on one hand the amount of times I've jumped because of a movie. That was one of them. It got me. It got me.
I hated the running footsteps after her in the hallway when you can hear it coming after her. The footsteps, did not like that.
Well, and as you mentioned A Quiet Place, and since there's very little dialogue spoken in A Quiet Place, it amplifies all of the other audio in that movie, and it does the same thing here, where since there's no dialogue to concentrate on, all of the other sounds get amplified even more so than they would have been otherwise, and so it is freaking creepy. When that alien comes and jumps on the bed, when she's underneath the bed,
that first vocalization of the alien when it like screams out, that I don't know what you call it, like bass or baritone. Oh my gosh. It's weirdly satisfying to listen to it, but it's also terrifying.
As you said, whoever did the audio of this movie should probably win some awards, because it is fantastic. It is really good, and it's interesting how you can take something like that people don't necessarily think of sometimes, and elevate a movie beyond more than what maybe even actually is. When something is done well, you can take this really not that great movie and make it really good. I don't know. I've seen that, whether it's the music, whether it's the audio, even just the acting job of one person in the movie can amplify a movie beyond what it actually maybe really is. I think that's the case here with this movie. Anybody else have anything else to add?
Agreed. No, that's good. Good summation.
It's really good.
Can we talk about the ending?
So what's that?
Oh yeah, the ending.
I don't think we want to talk about the ending. I think it's an interesting thing that we should keep. I will just say it's weird and I don't understand it. I think it's fascinating because you're just like, okay, that's just twisted. It's very twisted. The ending is twisted. I think we can all agree the ending is actually pretty twisted when you think about what's going on.
It was definitely the only thing that like I didn't fully understand the first time through. It threw me off for sure, but it wasn't in a bad way, I would say.
I mean, let's face it. She's still alone.
I pretty much figured that the aliens like said, "Oh, we found somebody who thinks like we do."
Maybe, yeah. I mean, it's an interesting concept. I don't want to go too far into it because I do want people to watch the movie and go, "What the?" And I think that's what happens. What the? And some of the reviews I have read of it, that's pretty much what most of the reviewers have said too. Great movie. What the?
I love the ending because it's so picturesque.
Yeah. So anyway, so we'll leave it for you people.
What do you mean?
In the simpleton audience to go check the movie out and watch the end. Let's go ahead and give our scores. I'm going to start off this one. I'm going to give it a 3.5, 3.5, because I think it is definitely certifiable. Is it the best movie I've ever seen? No. Is it the best movie I've seen this year? No. But it's worth the watch, and I encourage everybody to watch it. Charlie?
I'm going to step up. I'm going to give it a 4.5. Wow. The rating was fantastic. I like the way it grabs your attention and held it for so long, and just for simplicity, I thought it was great.
Good deal. Okay, Tristan, what about you?
I'm gonna go with a solid 4 on this one. This one really took me by surprise in the best way. Like, I did not have high hopes for this one, but it kept my attention. I was intrigued all the way through. I would definitely recommend it heavily, at least for a once-off watch, just to see it, because it is very fascinating. So 4.
Okay, good deal. Lemuel?
I think I'll also give it a 3.5. I think it's worth watching. I think it's certifiable. I think it's pretty creative, especially as far as alien movies go. I'd say it's actually fairly creative.
Yeah, and they're different kinds of aliens too. I just thought it was really fascinating because they had like, smaller aliens and these gigantic aliens, and then your typical normal looking, idea that we have of the third kind aliens.
The gray alien.
Yeah, with the big buggy eyes and stuff, and it's just like interesting, And then that whole there's that whole scene where like she stabs herself. That was interesting. I was like, what the heck? Her younger self stabs her.
Oh yeah,
that was weird. But anyway, you guys got to check out the movie. It is well worth the watch. If you don't have Hulu, it looks like you should probably be able to see it on, internationally at least, on Disney.
Really?
So check it out. Yeah, it should be good. And I'm sure you can rent it if you need to do that as well. So that's it for this episode of The Simpleton Review. If you've seen No One Will Save You, please let us know in the comments if you liked it. Please let us know if you thought, man, that was the dumbest movie I've ever seen. Let us know. We want to know what your opinion of this movie was. And if you haven't seen it, go watch it and then come back and tell us what you thought. We'd love to hear you because we don't really care if you haven't seen it. Just saying. So go watch it and then we'll talk. Sounds good? Thank you guys so much for dropping by. We love you. And thank you for being a part of the Simpleton community. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.